Hi everyone, we're going to work on a puppy commission. This is Benchley, and so I've already taken and got my sketch in, and I have my color photo that I'm going to use as a reference. What I'm going to work on today is the underpainting, and then after the underpainting's done, I'll come back in with colored pencil and do colored pencils on top. Now, she also sent me, along with the photograph of Benchley, she sent me photographs so I could see her house and kind of the colors that were in her house. And I'll show you. So you can kind of see it's pinks and greens. Um, she's got some palm tree and some green plaid and some damask pillows, kind of. So what I did was, she kind of has that romantic feel. So I pulled a couple different things. I pulled Sea Glass Americana and Moss Pearl Metallics, and I thought about doing that on the background. And then I thought about putting some of this paper in some places, which gets that pink in there. I found this, which was a marbleized paper. It's the right color green for the most part, but I don't really want to cut around him. So I think I'm going to do the paint and then collage some of the paper, like on the corners, basically. So I'm going to start with painting the background, and then we'll start doing underpainting some of his paint. He's not going to have paper on him. He's just going to be the paint and then the colored pencils. So I'm going to take Americana Sea Glass, and to that I'm going to add a little Dazzling Metallics Moss Pearl. Well, I say that. I'm going to add that just to the side. Probably way more than I need it, but the bottle is clogged. Because I'm thinking about putting the base coat of the paint in, and then maybe going darker. I have a different green, which is dark patina, and I thought about maybe even going in darker and doing a stripe, but I'm not positive about the stripe. I thought about doing a stripe background, just one vertical stripe. But I like that shimmer. But I'm thinking we could let this background dry, which will not take any time at all. And then we could add a darker stripe. Way more paint than I need. I'm going to use the darker in that same base. I'll be out of pocket next week. I was telling Tara, she ordered one of Maisie, her puppy, but I have classes all next week, so it will be either in the evening or after Thursday. But I have pre-AP science next week at TCU, so it's a science workshop for next year. But we need to try to get to Jane's puppies next week, and Maisie, and maybe Bella. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to the be there at 8 o'clock. Not get up at 8 o'clock, be there at 8 o'clock. Okay. So I am going to attempt to pick up some of this leftover, that way too much of this paint that's not mixed. It's just the pure paint. I'm just going to add it back to the bottle. And then I'll put that aside. And I'm going to grab painter's tape. Yeah, I bet. They were shooting them off. Well, they were shooting guns, and I don't know what it was last night. I told Bob, I was like, just enough is enough. I'm sure it was kids to some degree. And I am going to go in and add some of that metallic in places on top. I need to, when I go to print Maisie, I'll print Delilah for Jane's little Delilah. Okay. So I'm going to start, and I'm just going to eyeball it. Because it'll really be kind of tone on tone. Looks like he's in doggy jail. Okay. And I think this one's the only one I want to move. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is hit the seams with the same color. Less likely to be bleed that way. Okay. Now let's get some of this dark patina. Yeah, Jean, or maybe just even get a separate watercolor piece that's about the same size and do it on a separate piece. I don't know how you get sunsets without getting some green. I think it's really hard. Put it down right there. Some of this on the sides will end up covered up, well, with the mat and also with the scrapbook paper. Hi, Cindy Lou. I mailed lettuce today. I sent you a tracking number. Oh, look, I missed an area. Could be bleed on that one, but not too bad. being freed. He's a blue ribbon puppy. I don't remember what category he won. She told me, but I've forgotten. I think it might have had something to do with like behavior. I don't know if that's like good sportsmanship and the doggy world of show dogs. Okay, so let me set that to the side. Put this up. A lot of paint right here. We need to put on some paper through a stencil. This one's handy, so we'll just use it. This will be a good green to have because I don't use pastels very often. So to have a pastel in the drawer is probably not a bad thing. Okay. Put that up. Wipe that down just so I don't get it on anything else. Who's haunted? Another face. Where is a face? Where is a face? On my mat, there's a face. I'm hoping that's what you're talking about. This is a friend of mine who I used to teach with. I'm hoping that there's a face in here, or there's a face in here that y'all are seeing. The green face. Okay, good. It's gone now. You can all relax. Okay. Let's get a straight edge on this. Okay. Put that there. another straight edge. Okay. Glue that in there. I think that'll be. Let me grab. Yeah, just some of that'll show. It won't show a whole lot. In fact, I'm not sure that piece down at the bottom is necessary at all. I'll add it in case she frames it a different way, in case she chooses to frame it without the mat someday. I don't know, Button. We lived in a house over by the college, and I found a 4-foot by 6-foot painting up in the attic. It had like a finished space up in the attic under the eaves and stuff, and there was storage back in there. Well, because it was near the college, the people that had lived in it had gone to college. Well, one of them must have been an art major, I guess. And it had this big, basically 5-foot. It was called Valley of the Shadow Man. It even was written under this creature that had like a skeleton. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture and I'll show you. Not before. I don't know why I didn't take a picture before. Anyways, no, I don't want to upload a photo. It was this skeleton-like guy in armor, and he had a tail. I just took White House paint, covered over him, and I, did several layers of this white paint, let it dry, and I was gonna paint this kind of Fiji island arch. It took me 2 years to paint the arch over time. And I used some modeling paste to make the rocks and stuff. But this is what I painted. But after I got it all done, over time, you can't see it on here, I don't think. But down in the corner along the bottom, there are some places that you can see the words Valley of the Shadow Man and some of his vertebrae. So a friend of mine, Robin, and Bob say that it's bad juju and it's a spirit, and I shouldn't have covered up, said Mr. Shadow Man. I told him, he'll get over it. I need to frame it, but I just haven't. built a frame for it, so it sits in the hall to this day. Because it needs to, well, first of all, it's gotten, it was bent, warped a little bit, I guess. So from being so big, it was screwed in the wall when it was at the college, I guess. So it has holes at the top. So maybe I am. So I figured this kind of was appropriate for her house without being matchy. And just parts of it will show through, but it'll frame him. Actually, I want to put a coat over those edges, I think. Not on him. I don't want matte medium on him. Yeah, maybe Shadow Man is haunting me. Bob would tell you yes. But I'm like, I spent 2 years on that painting, so I don't want to hear about the Shadow Man. All right. Glue up. And y'all be so happy to know I went to Walmart. I got me a big bottle of glue. So what's left in this one, I'm probably going to turn into pouring medium. I looked at Walmart for Flood for some of the Floetrol, but they didn't have it. So I'm not sure. I've still got Liquitex pouring medium, but I'm not totally sold on the Flood. Kind of wonder if the Flood isn't part of what caused some of the cells to break occasionally. All right. So this is Mississippi Mud. By Americana. I need to go into Hobby Lobby or Michael's and get some more rounds. And I'm gonna add a drop of burnt sienna. I mean, not burnt sienna. Burnt umber. And on this side, I'm gonna put a little bit of raw umber. And I have a little bit of burnt sienna. These are all deco art. Most of them are the Traditions paints. And I'm going to use a little raw sienna, but I think I want to tone that down with a little opaque white. Which that's what I'm going to use on the bulk of the body. Kind of get a honeyed color. I have a good variety of grays. I just don't have a very good, I want more varieties of some of the browns. I'm going to just sort of blend in a little bit of a lighter color. And I'm actually even going to add a little light gray in here. So that'll be a little bit of the raw sienna, little white, and just a touch of the gray. Okay. And then I'm going to grab, no, that's, yeah, it's all right. Grabbed a little dark, just to get a darker. Okay. Hi, Shells. Yeah. And I'm kind of doing the undercoat in places a little lighter because it's easier to get the dark in with the colored pencils and that kind of golden color than it is the whites. I am going to come back in with some darker color here in a minute too. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to dry brush some lighter. Okay. Okay. Need some more of the raw sienna. And I'm going to try a little raw sienna with a little burnt sienna. And a little white, just a touch. times that. That was good. Maybe less. Okay. And for the ears, I'm just adding a little bit of gray. Got raw umber, but I'm going to add a little burnt umber. Just kind of blending it with the baby wipe just a little bit here and there. All right, I'm not unhappy with that. As a start, I am gonna lightly hit the eyes in that brown and then tap out. Just kind of a glaze right now. Put that in water. Close all those, get rid of all those. Let me set that aside. Let's take the same paper and the same stencil, and let's stencil some of this leftover brown on this end. Mostly that Mississippi mud, which I didn't end up using very much of. That gets most of that paint. At least I'm not wasting it. Put that up. Wipe all that up. Yeah, you can see it a little. Look for some faces, ladies. Okay. Get a paper towel. I'll dry that off. All right, let me put this paint up real quick. Okay. Now the question is, do I want to... I think I want to stop. No faces. Whew, good thing. I think I'm going to stop this recording. I'm not leaving, but just stopping this recording. And call it part 1. I'm not sure I want to do the colored pencil work today. I'm thinking I may move on to another background piece. So let me stop and work on the pencil part tomorrow. So let me stop the recording.